say, because it's in a hierarchy and ventral, which you're going to hear all about in a minute, is at the top, it doesn't mean that ventral, like if you're not in ventral, you're a bad person, or that's like the place to be, because we don't want to start taking the beauty of our bodies and toxic positivity in ourselves when that's not the function. So that's that. And automatic, it happens below the level of consciousness. So this beautiful piece of technology that supports you, it happens without you consciously thinking about it. So there was one day I was doing an experiment with myself about boredom, and I went to the nail shop without taking my headphones, so I couldn't listen to a podcast. I know, can you believe it? I did that, and I noticed that I had like sympathetic, so my fight or flight response was activated by a fly before I had consciously seen the fly. I've got a thing about flies. So before I had consciously seen the fly, I flinched, then I saw the fly, and it was a real experiment. So I noticed that. I also noticed how dirty the walls are, and I haven't been back to that particular And then at the top of the ladder, we have the ventral part of the nervous system, which is all about connection. It's the newest part of our autonomic nervous system, and it's all about safety, connection. Like, we are ventral. Well, I'm hoping that I'm ventral right now. I feel connected, I can feel my feet on the ground, I feel grounded, I'm present, I feel safe, and I feel like I am the universe, there ain't nothing I can do. So I feel really safe and connected. I've looked into your eyes, hopefully I've hugged all of you by now, and I'm feeling really present, I'm feeling here. And when we're in that ventral space, we kind of feel like, it's not like, oh my gosh, everything's so positive. We have enough capacity that when things come along, we feel like we've got the space, we've got the ability to be able to tackle whatever it is that comes along. So it's not good vibes only, it's like, oh my goodness, my auntie suddenly died, but I've got the capacity to be able to cope with it because I have a basic trust for life. So the autonomic nervous system works in a predictable hierarchy. A ladder is often used to demonstrate this hierarchy. However, just because ventral is at the top, it doesn't mean that it's better than the other parts of the ladder. So we're not going to be dissing dorsal, we're not going to be dissing sympathetic, and I'm going to mention freeze and fawn. We're not going to diss them either because they are serving a purpose. Our nervous system is designed to be flexible so that we can navigate this ladder with ease, but because the system in which we live often puts us in a state of survival constantly, instead of having flexibility, we get stiffness. It's almost like our nervous systems get inflamed and get infected by or affected by all these itises, so it locks in a particular place. And I'll say from the jump, previously I thought my place that I get locked into is sympathetic, do. But when I actually spent time studying this stuff and understanding myself, what I realized is my place that I get like stuck in is shut down. Like I'm a shut down person. I describe it like being at the bottom of a well. It's dark, it's damp. I can see the light at the end, but I'm on the floor and I don't even want to be helped. And what I realise is I try to use fight or flight to yank myself out, which means that I'm going shut down, yank, crash, shut down, yank, crash, and it's not sustainable. So, you know, when we start to understand our nervous systems and work with our body, we can bring some flexibility back into it. It's a bit like doing yoga for your nervous system. So in our healthy state, sympathetic is very, very helpful. That it's not a bad place. And when we feel unsafe, we may go to the other end of the spectrum to fight or flight. And this is one of the ways we try to escape danger or the perception of danger. So we talk about things like really flippantly, oh my anxiety, oh I felt anxious or whatever. Anxiety is the way our body tells us we are under threat. Anxiety is the way our body tells us frankly, we could die. So it's not about flippantly saying, oh, I feel a bit anxious. Actually, what your body is saying, this is so unsafe, you might die. And I just want to ask you some of the ordinary, everyday things that make you feel anxious, that raises anxiety. Helen very candidly shared with us that she didn't have like anxiety feelings because there was a point in time that speaking on stage made her feel like, I'm going to die here. So like, we don't have to go like to the deep end. Yes, Ellie?
Changing trains and platform when you change it is less than like 7 minutes. It gives me the absolute fear.
Right? So, changing trains at platform gives you absolute fear. And we say it casually, but on a somatic level, your body is saying there's a risk of serious harm or a fatality right now. And that's for a train. And I just want to be clear, I'm not saying, oh, for a simple thing like a train, it's so that we understand and own what our bodies are doing to us for everyday things so that we can start to make choice. Anybody else want to? Yes, Portia?
Leading a meeting.
Leading a meeting, absolutely. Clenching your bum cheeks, having to listen to Dizzy Rascal to get you going. That's just me. But yeah, these are serious, serious things. Sandra Vanessa, you shouldn't have looked at me, babes. Okay, I'm good. Yes, James?
Saying no to something.
Are we going to have like a people pleasers confessional? Boy. Lots of people that describe themselves as spiritual are very much in survival sympathetic. They're constantly transcending, they're constantly running away from reality to the 5D or whatever other alternate place they go to, and like literally bypassing and running away and getting into the habit of saying things like, you're in a low vibration and blah, blah, blah. That's like a way people like run away from and don't feel safe enough to be grounded. And, you know, I love spirituality, I'm all about it, but I like spirituality that comes through me rather than I'm running up to chase it. Spiritual bypassing, literally, like it's salvation. You never ever get to salvation. Or when you're dead, apparently, and who knows what happens there. What words do you associate with being in survival dorsal? That kind of shut down, small, fetal, like. Any words top of mind? Warp, yep. Heavy. Trapped. I'm so confused. I'm like a man in a cage. So in love with you. Yep, trapped. Sticky. Once I was in Lloyd's TS, it wasn't Lloyd's TSV at the time, it was just Lloyd's in High Street, Kensington, and there was a rat in the garage, and they had this sticky thing that they catch, and it was really trying to lift itself off, so that's going to stick in my head. Bring it to life, bring it to life. So Dawson is like a rat on the rat catching mat thing. Any more? Don't touch me. Dissociation, hide. No amount of sleep can make you feel rested. It's like, I don't know.
I want someone to look after me. I keep coming up with like ailments going,
Well, you probably are not well because this shit runs down your immune system. Yeah. This is my place, like this is where I go. Okay. What colours do you associate with survival dorsal? So for me that's grey, but like that browny, murky, yours is black. And then what sort of events, people, places, experiences and things trigger survival dorsal? And I'll be, you know, oh yes, Layla. Do the scrolling. So, oh, comparisonitis. And you know, as a people-pleasing, Enneagram 2E, manifesting generator human being, the sense that somebody doesn't like me. Like once I come out of it, I'm like, fine, whatever, but the instant it's like, oh, rejection, but I want you to like, but I'm nice. I'm a good person. That's the one, but I'm a good person. I did all this. Or if I've helped somebody or offered to do something and they don't receive it the way I think I'm intended, because back there it's manipulation, but I think, and I'm like, I'm just trying to be nice, and you just don't want. So that can make me shut down. Anybody else? Survival dorsal? What behaviours do you exhibit? Judging. And sometimes we can withhold because we're just so shut down, like we haven't got it.